Coming up on today's show, we have a chat with 17-year-old local singer Ellie Stephenson. Singer-songwriter Cortney Dixon performs live at Blink Studios. We also sit down and have a chat with emerging dance theatre company What's That Dance, and singer-songwriter Amour performs live. But coming up first on the show, you might remember from a couple of weeks back a local 17-year-old singer named Ellie Stephenson. We brought her in to have a little chat with our host Carolyn.
I think at the moment with everything that's going on with COVID, mental health is such an important issue. I think everybody, no matter who you are, no matter how old you are, in some way has suffered with their mental health during the past year because of like the lockdown and everything. How important is like singing been for you through this time to kind of like help you through?
Yeah, it's been really important, but like at the same time, it's kind of like because I haven't been able to be doing something, that's the worst thing about it.
Yeah.
Because I used to use like singing and like even if I just used to do gigs at a pub, like busking stuff, just stuff like that just used to help because it's something to do, it's something to look forward to, something to practice for, it's like a goal kind of thing. And then obviously you don't know who's watching you, so you always want to make that impression to be like, who's watching? Am I going to get something out of this?
Yeah.
But without having that, it's been hard because just singing in your bedroom's nothing compared to
It's not the same.
singing in a crowd.
Yeah, completely. It's totally understandable. But I mean, you say that you've done busking, you've obviously performed in front of loads and loads of people. How confident are you as a person? Because I think, you know, to someone who's never performed before, they must assume, oh, you must be so confident to be able to do that and not feel scared by it. Would you say that you're a confident person?
Yeah, I'm quite confident, but you're always going to get nerves before you go on. But I think nerves is quite good. And I don't know why, but I think I get a little bit of a kick out of it when I feel that a little bit sick. Because I know that I'm going to do something I enjoy, but there's always that kind of like I say, who's watching?
Yeah, of
And you're
course.
always a bit like, because you can, obviously people are looking at you, and sometimes when people are there, I've done things where like the mayor's been there, stuff like that, obviously like footballers, and it's just like, you don't know who's watching, and you don't know if you're going to get anything out of it. And there's been a few times I have got things out of doing things like that. So you do get nervous and stuff, but you've got to be confident, because if you're not confident, then you don't hold anything about yourself.
Yeah, no,
So
that's so
kind of-
true. I mean, that's a very wise thing to say. And from someone like yourself, so young, it's a really wise thing to say. And I think a lot of people who've been in the industry, you know, whether it's singing or acting or dancing or literally just the creative industry, you know, no matter how old they are, I think they could do very well to remind themselves of that exactly. You know, it's good to push yourself out of your comfort zone, because that's when you reap the rewards. Like, that's when you get like something good out of it.
Yeah. I think people think if they're confident, they can look a bit too much, but people can look too much, but if you're not confident, you don't look enough.
Yeah.
So you've got to have something about you to put yourself out there, otherwise it's just not going to work.
Definitely.
People want a character, do you know what I mean? People want a story, a character, someone who they can like relate to in a sense.
That's it. I think people buy into not just the fact that, you know, you've got a beautiful voice or you're a nice singer, but it's the person as well, isn't it? Like, who you are, can they relate to you and connect to you? I think it's all so important.
Yeah, it can come with time as well though, because when I was little I just used to stand there and I never used to talk to the audience and stuff, and people who I was working with, don't know if you've heard of Mac before, but I think he's friends with Ghana and stuff like that, but they used to be like, Howie, you need to talk to the audience because you're just standing there like a lost soul, and then you sing and it's like you come to life.
Yeah.
But as I got older and stuff, I started talking and stuff like that more and performing more. So it can come with time, because it is a big thing. Because the first time I got on stage, I was just standing there like that.
Yeah.
Didn't say a word. I was just like a little mouse until I started opening my mouth singing. But it does come with time, and you've got to be patient with it as well.
Yeah.
But you've still got to push yourself. It can be challenging, because it's not all just like a straight line.
Yeah.
You know, you get a cold and you're not. So it's like,
Definitely.
there is bumps along the way as well.
Yeah, you've got to definitely be very resilient. And I
Yeah.
think resilience is something that I've talked about with every person that I've interviewed. There's been artists, there's been authors, there's been singers, dancers, performers of every kind. And they've all said, you've got to be resilient, because you just don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if you're going to book another job. You don't know, you know, what's going to happen next. So it's about kind of having that inner strength to just be like, I'm good at what I do and I'm going to keep going no matter what.
Yeah, you can't. There's been times in where I've thought like, oh, I'm just gonna leave it. I'm just gonna give up because I'm not getting anywhere. But then you've just got to kind of remind yourself like, you've just got to keep going. You can't just do that because all them years and all that talent and time that you've put into it, it's just gone to waste.
Yeah.
Like the lockdown kind of made us like that. Like, you know, no one getting in contact, nothing to do. I've been messaging like other artists and stuff and people who, you know, run gigs and stuff, and they're all the same. It's just like it's kind of like on a waiting line kind of thing, just like never ending. But from this, like I've picked myself back up 100%. You've just got to keep in mind like it's not the end of the road kind of thing. There's going to be other things.
Yeah.
So you've got to keep yourself occupied with it in some sort of way. Otherwise, you do get just like, oh, I just want to leave it.
Yeah.
It can be hard.
Definitely.
A huge thank you to Ellie, and hopefully we can get her in for another stunning performance very soon. But coming up next on the show, it's another guest you might recognise from a couple weeks back. Local singer-songwriter Cortney Dixon with a live session of her single, Half My Heart. Take it away, Cortney.
Sat in the dark, stood at the ocean, shouting to the sky. Stupid to think they might reply. Open up our hands, watch them as they
Amazing stuff, and you can check out Cortney's back catalogue on all major streaming platforms. But coming up next on the show, our host Carolyn sits down with Megan and Jenny from Emergent Dance Theatre Company. What's That Dance?
And I'm really interested, actually, you know, in the process that goes into creating the choreography and the piece. Is it kind of improvise? Does it start with like a bit of improvisation or an idea, or you know, how does it start? Talk me through how you're creating this piece, because it really does interest me so much. You know, the mind of a choreographer, the mind of a dancer.
Yeah.
So like, how did you kind of come up with the piece? Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
I know it does make sense.
I think, well, I mean, the piece as it is currently is still from that scratch performance, so it's like very like in its basic stages, but I think to come up with that, you do start with like improvising and like kind of just like playing with movement and then kind of, you know, relating it back to our experiences, and then from that kind of it like spirals. It's really hard to explain. It kind of formulates itself, you know, drawing on those experiences.
Yeah, and at the stage where it is right now, so there's lots of different sections that we wanted to like work on and work towards. So it's like split into different bits almost. So it's like focusing on the one bit. So we've got bits with like text over it, like where we're speaking about our experiences. So we're dancing to our stories, which is quite interesting, really. And then there's parts where there's I'm trying to describe all the bits. And
I know, I'm
really
trying to
hard.
remember it because we've not done it in like maybe like 2 years now. So
we took a lot of influence from the history of the topic of the piece as well. So like fashion and different things like that to help with the movement of the piece. So we've got suits as well, so that helps a lot with creating material, as in like the movement, the way it shapes it as well. So.
Yeah, so there's literally so many elements. Like you can't just turn up and think, okay, I'm going to dance today, I'm going to create something. You're really putting together every piece of it, which actually is quite inspiring. Again, going back to, you know, if someone said, what do? You said dancer. They'd think, okay, so you move your body. But actually, there is so many other elements to it. You've got to almost be the designer, the content creator, the writer, the angles for filming, like everything, the location. So you've really got to have lots of skills.
Yeah,
basically producing it.
Yeah, you do have to. I think that's what we realised. Well, I know I realised when I graduated is that you have to do literally everything. Like you have to like write your own funding bids, you have to produce it, you have to make the whole idea, like it's not just the dancing bit.
Definitely.
Which is definitely a bit of a shock at first.
I know. It feels like a lot of work.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
Yeah. But I think especially being in the Northeast and having people around you to support you and doing that process, it makes it so much easier.
Oh yeah, we have had.
Yeah, like having people to mentor you and like guide you, because we would have been lost.
Oh yeah, we would have been lost.
Definitely. And there's a few other people, you know, artists and creators that I've talked to, and I've always said, is networking important? Because personally, from my experience, it's very important in what I do. How important is networking, you know, for yourselves within your careers?
So important. Like, I don't think I would have gotten a single dance job that I've had if I hadn't have already known that person somehow. Yeah. Even through just doing like placements at university, if you like keep in touch with people, follow them on Instagram, like their posts, you know, keep engaged with people, and
people are willing to help you as well, which is great.
Yeah.
So I think it is necessary.
Definitely.
And as you touched on, I think that's one of the benefits for being based in the Northeast. You know, it is a smaller community, but it's a strong one.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
so strong.
Yeah,
so strong.
Definitely. As well, you know, there might be people at home watching this, and as soon as you said the word applying for funding, they would be like, what? Like, you know, what does that mean? Because I think we've all probably at some point been in a position where we've had to apply for some sort of funding, working in, you know, the performance sort of career. How did you guys, first of all, go about that? How did you learn how to do that? Was it scary? Were you successful?
It was really scary. I know leading up to us applying for the Curious Arts bursary, which was just a really small pot of money, we'd applied for a couple of things and not gotten it. So it can be a bit disheartening, but eventually we got there. You kind of figure it out as you go, you know, and you know, there's different levels to what funding you apply for. You don't have to apply for like 15 grand. Like you can apply for like a couple £100 to make like something really small.
Yeah.
And generally those applications aren't too difficult. You kind of...
Yeah, and once you start looking as well, then you find out where all the different pots of money are, and then you get to see what work they're creating and different things like that. So it's just like having a look and just applying for...
It is scary, but I would just do it anyway because at least you're getting like your name out there and people kind of are learning.
And then it's more
who you
experience as well with applying for
and if you
funding.
can get any feedback from an application,
always
definitely
ask.
get it.
Yeah, I think again, it's about always like learning, isn't it? You go into something and you probably think, okay, I've done this a million times before, but then you probably learn something as you go.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so you kind of adapt as you go, which is quite exciting, really, if you think about it. It's not a boring job.
Oh no, definitely not boring.
A massive thank you to Megan and Jenny, and you can check out their work on Instagram at What's That Dance. But last up on the show, performing an acoustic version of her single Circles right here in the pit, this is Lauren Amour.
I've been here before, but something's different in the way we talk. Took so long, the spark is gone, the faded glimmer in the dark. Second chances, no, they don't ever matter. I guess people always stay the same. We're 4 chances down, don't know how it happened. No, I won't be going round again. But my parents told me to be careful. They were only watching from the side, and I was busy caught up in the middle and couldn't see. I gotta get off this ride. We're going round in circles. Why the hell am I wasting my time? Going round in circles. And every time you say you wanna break up, that you wanna be friends, then we're in the same bed by the weekend. I'm so tired, I'm going round in circles. Make me safe, then turn away. Leave me wanting more. It's my mistake, I know the game, but what's the point in keeping score? But my parents told me to be careful. They were only watching from the side. I was busy caught up in the middle and couldn't see. I gotta get off this ride. We're going round in circles. Why the hell am I wasting my time? Going round in circles. And every time you say you wanna break up, that you wanna be friends, then we're in the same bed by the weekend. I'm so tired, going round in circles. But my parents told me to be careful. They were only watching from the side, and I was busy caught up in the middle and couldn't see. I gotta get off this ride, going round in circles. Why the hell am I wasting my time? Going round in circles. Every time you say you wanna break up, that you wanna be friends, then we're in the same bed by the weekend. I'm so tired, I'm going round in circles. Going around and around in circles, yeah.
next time on Sessions from the Pit.